Welcome to the beginning, really, of your journey of making beats. So I know the other video that I did was kind of like a quick fire round, kind of showed you what to do. Look, guys, there are lots of resources on Soundtrap's website that you can access for free once you've logged in. If you feel you need to go back and, if you're maybe one of those people that really want to delve into the browser side of it, feel free to go back and use those resources or watch the video again to make sure you're clear. If you're like me, you maybe want to just jump in and just see what happens and you want to start making music as quickly as possible, this is the place to be. Now, the first thing that I like to do when I'm working with rappers or singers is create a groove. Now, if you don't know what a groove is, that's basically the drum pattern. Now, I'm going to teach you in a very short amount of time all the best drum patterns that you can use to engage people that come to your studio. Even if you're on your phone, you will be on point. So I'm going to just talk you through some real simple grooves. So let's start off with the Drake groove, because I do love that groove. Now, when it comes to rap, any genre of drums, the two things you need to be aware of before you even get into anything. Number one is tempo. That is the speed of the track. And number two is obviously the pattern. Do you know what I'm saying? So just to give you a quick overview, in every bar, there are 4 beats in every bar. And we call it beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, and beat 4. There are really only 2 snare patterns that a beginner should be using. Either standard time, where you put the snare on the 2 and the 4, or half time, where you only put 1 snare on the 3. Now, I'm going to show you all of that stuff right now. So let's just dive in. So the first thing I want to do, as I said to you before, we want to get the tempo in. Now, I know my tempos, and I'll post them in the comments below. If you want a Drake style groove, then you're going to go to your tempo bit at the bottom, change that to 85, and apply. Then you're going to add a new track, and we're going to go to Drum Machine, Pattern Beat Maker. For that Drake sound, you're going to use your, you can just slide that up. That's cool. We want to make it into a 1-bar loop. As you can see now, you can see it says 1 there and 2 there. That basically means that's 1 bar. Now, each bar is divided in this system into 16 chunks. We call them subdivisions. Yep. So each bar has 4 beats. This is beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, and beat 4. And each of those beats is divided into 4 more. So you've got 4 beats. Each beat is divided into 4. That's quick maths. That's 16. So, as I was talking before about a snare pattern. So this is beat 1. This is beat 2. This is beat 3. This is beat 4. If you put the snare on the beginning of beat 2 and beat 4 and press play, you're already going to get a sound. In fact, let me just update the sound. If you go here, this is the drum sampler sounds. You can change it. I'm going to change it to Toronto, because Toronto is Canadian and that's where Drake's from. And this is the 808 sound that Drake is kind of re-popularized in the moment. So if you press play, that is a standard time groove, yeah? Then you put the kick on the 1. Boom. As you can see, very quickly, that is essentially the Drake groove. And then what we can do is add hi-hats. Actually, I don't really like those hi-hats too much, but I do like the kick and the snare. So maybe I'll open another channel and find a better hi-hat. Do you know what I'm saying? So just for now, I'm going to show you what I've done. Let's clear that off. Start again. I start with the snare on the first beat of bar 2 and then the next beat of bar 4. Then I put the snare there, then I miss 2 and put the beat there, and I miss 1 and put it there, and I press play. And that already, you know, Drake, he be like, yeah. This snare pattern will get a rapper going, yeah? Then I put the kick on the 1. Boom, boom. Then I put a beat here. You see what I'm doing, yeah? So I've got the kick at the beginning. I've got the off kick in the middle of beat 3. And then just for the extra groove, I just put the extra kick on here. You can see where I'm putting it, right? And I'm telling you, at that stage, anyone's cooking for Drake. Alright, cool. That's the Drake style. Alright, cool. Next one, what we're going to do is we're going to go back. We're just going to delete that. Let's just say garage. I know garage should be 130 BPM. We're going to apply that. I'm going to go back into our patterns beat maker. I don't know, we're going to maybe find something else, like sound wise. Yeah, Toxicit, that would be good. So garage, we use standard time. We increase the BPM. Boom. This is basically garage. Now what's really interesting is, you see the snare pattern here is basically the same as the Drake pattern. But what we've done is we sped up the beat to 130 from 85. And then I've got these hi-hats in the middle of each beat. Do you see what I mean? That's garage. Alright, I said we're going to do one more. We're going to change this to 96 BPM. Again, that's hip hop. Do you know what? I just press play and you're going to get hip hop anyway. Boom, boom. Maybe I have like a double kick. Boom. Maybe I have a little. Quite like that, and that, yeah, that's maybe a bit more aggressive hip hop. So then I just added some hi-hats to the beginning of each beat. Do you know what? There's 3 drum patterns that you can use. I know it was a bit of a long session today. If you can master these like few drum grooves, whenever someone's in a studio or whenever you're making music with someone, it's going to be a good session. Respect.